Well, 2020 has just been crazy. It seems like every day there's something new going on. So it's really important we be ready to adapt. That means having first aid supplies, being set up for remote work, having good masks, lots of dry goods like lentils and rice, and also having a bit of foresight that all bets are off and things could very well continue to get weird. While I would not consider myself a prepper, I've seen firsthand that it's very important these days to be at least a little prepared for worst case scenario. And that by the time you realize there is a problem, everyone else has realized the same thing. So it can be impossible to buy what you need. Looking at Joanne in 19.5 mask, earlier we looked at healthcare tech that can help for remote medicine if we have medical emergency during lockdown. But all of this assumes an interrupted cell phone and internet service, and probably it won't be interrupted too badly. Those networks are pretty robust. But if civil disturbances make those networks inaccessible, or pandemic lockdowns means there aren't enough maintenance workers, or they can't get where they need, we could end up without internet and wireless service, at least in spots, and at least for a little while. Do I think we will? Probably not. But as I said, the way 2020 is going so far, who knows? So I'm at least preparing for the possibility. And if it's in your budget, maybe you want to do the same. If there's interruption in cell phone service, we'll need our own wireless option. Depending on what country you're in, there are low-cost radios that don't require a license, what many countries call FRS. They don't transmit all that far, but they're better than nothing. What I'm going to look at today is a step up from that. This is the Ulefone Armor 3WT, an Android phone with the usual dual SIM cards, and LTE 4G Wi-Fi Bluetooth radios, but in a rugged mil-spec form factor you know I like for shop and emergency use. Most importantly, it has a built-in walkie-talkie that will let you communicate even if everything else goes down. So let's unbox it and take a look. So this is the Ulefone. In the box we have some instruction, all the accessories. There are some extra screws. This is the screwdriver for you to screw for the back. This is the belt clip. This is a converter for you to use your ordinary headphones. Adapter, charging cable, antenna, and you can mount this on your motorbike or bike if you need, and put your phone in. So one thing the Ulefone is different from the other phones I've reviewed is that it doesn't have a SIM card tray. On the back, let me open it and show you. So you use the screwdriver to take out those screws. So you can see these two are SIM card slots and this one is for the memory. All right, let's put the cover back. Okay, let me peel off the sticker and turn on the phone. Touch the sensor to enroll my fingerprints. It's also on the side. Looks like just stock Android 9, nothing weird. Okay, let's take a look at their cameras. So let's take a look at my studio. It's kind of messy right now because I have some project going on and haven't got time to clean up. This is my working table. It's also a mess. or the paper box on the ground. Now let's take a look. Okay, now let's take a look at the front camera. So this is me in the selfie mode. Okay, this is a brick. It might remind you of the Doogee S80 I reviewed a while back. Would I carry this phone in my bare bag every day? Probably not, but it's definitely getting a spot in my go bag. I like my Huawei P30 Pro a lot. It takes beautiful pictures and videos, but it's not a phone you want to rely on if you don't know what you're in for. With something like the Ulefone Armor 3WT, I can handle anything. It's certified IP68, IP69K, which means it can be submerged for 30 minutes in 1.5 meters of water, 24 hours in 1 meter of concrete, work between -20 degrees centigrade and 60 degrees centigrade. You can drop it from height and all that good stuff. Basically, anything that kills this phone will have already killed me first. So I won't need it anyway. Most importantly, it has a huge 10,300 mAh battery good for 4 days of hard use without recharging. If you've ever been stuck at an airport or a hospital and have trouble finding a charger, this is why you want a huge battery. People are getting stranded places these days. You don't want that and a dead phone. You can also charge other people's phone with this phone if needed. This phone has 3 different types of GPS: normal GPS, GNSS, and BeiDou. It also has a barometer and altimeter. This means if you are hiking or have any sort of an emergency while outside of cell phone coverage, you can just get on the radio and give your elevation and precise GPS coordinates so help can easily find you. Okay, now I'm going to go into the walkie-talkie app. The Armor 3WT transmits at up to 2 watts, between 400 and 470 megahertz. That's not like a ham radio or anything, but a step up from most strip FRS radios. Let's pretend I'm in the US. So I'm going to select US FRS. FRS radio frequencies are the ones that are legal to use without any sort of a license in the US. So I'm good, right? Not so fast. The problem is that while I might be broadcasting on a legal frequency with it dialed down to half watt for legal power, the device itself is still not legal to transmit with. Mostly because it's programmable and has a removable antenna. The reality is no one's going to check so long as you stay in FRS. You don't broadcast at some crazy power and don't play music. No one really cares. But if you're a stickler for the exact letter of the law, no, it's not legal. Neither is double parking for 60 seconds to run in and pick up your takeout order. But so long as you aren't a jerk about it, the world continues to turn. But for the sake of this video, yes, this is technically illegal. And no, I'm not telling you to go ahead and do it anyway because it's never enforced, because that would be bad. The next option is USFRS GMRS. GMRS requires a license, but in the US, I'm told you can get it and pay online. There's no test or anything. Think of it like a more powerful FRS. For normal day-to-day stuff, fighting your friends in the crowd, there's really no need for GMRS. But if things get bad, FCC rules say in an emergency, you don't need a license. So it's great that the phone has the capability if you need it. Lastly, the radio does have the option of letting you create an encrypted digital channel. This will keep all your conversations private. You can also send text messages with other radios on that digital channel. Again, this is technically illegal. But in a natural disaster, social unrest, all bets are off, and your security could depend on secure comms. As a woman, if things go all Mad Max, I'm not super keen on announcing to the world and anyone with a receiver I'm alone and in trouble. Probably some of you guys feel the same. Best to research your local laws, use your radio responsibly, but I prefer to have the capability of accessing much more powerful functions if I ever need them. Better I have them and don't need them than I need them and don't have them. If you have a cheap Walmart FRS blister pack radio, those limits can never be exceeded. But on the plus side, if you do have a few of those cheap FRS radios, this can talk to them no problem. Okay, I think that covers all the important features. I've got a second one. Let's take it out for field test. This video is made possible by the generous support of JLC PCB, China's largest PCB manufacturer. With JLC, you can have your PCB manufactured in under 24 hours, all while you track the process in real time. Prototype boards start at just $2 in any color. Check the description box for more info. One of the best ways to support me is to support the companies that fund this channel.
I like the song. I see Oh, now I'm holding the uniform armor frequency. It has a walkie-talkie function. Now I'm going to test it with my friend Simi. Simi is right over there. Okay, let's go. Simi, I'm going to press one. Simi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Stop dancing! I can hear you clear, very clear from here. Okay, now you can keep dancing. Yeah. So I'm going to switch the channel to the equipped one, digital. I'm going to come over to you and then switch the channel, right? Now I'm going to switch the channel to the equipped one, digital. We do have an option to switch it to the anyone on this channel can listen to us, but we are going to see very nice intercom, and I'm going to switch it to the one I set up. Okay, now she's going back and I'm going to test the so let's go back there and check out. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Oh yeah, now I can hear you. Yes, I'm very hungry now. I'm waiting for the hamburgers. I'm very hungry now. I'm waiting for the hamburgers. Okay, alright, she listened to me. So there was some delay, I think. So when I press the button, like the delay is 1 to 2 seconds. But and then I asked her, "Are you hungry?" Right? She said, "I'm very hungry. I'm waiting for the hamburgers." Yeah, I'm waiting for the hamburgers.
差不多2页。
So I tested the radios out in a few places where my friends see me. And realistically, in the city, you are looking at half a kilometer, maybe 3 to 4 blocks. That's pretty much to be expected with a radio designed to be used without a license. Overall, I think it's a much better Android phone than I expected. It's hard to get real rugged construction under $300, and this thing is built like a tank. I would be glad to have it for emergencies. I think the walkie-talkie functions is a great thing to have up your sleeve in emergencies. But because it's FRS, you aren't going to have a conversation all the way across town. It's not a ham radio. But if you are lost in a huge crowd or camping and take a walk away from the others, it's just a thing. I did notice that with the walkie-talkie app on, the phone does seem to go through battery a bit faster, but the battery is so huge, it's not really a big concern. Still, if you aren't using it, stay out of the walkie-talkie application to save power. I am going to film this up with offline maps and first aid guides. If you'd like to get your own, you can buy it from Banggood. I have their link in the description box. That's it for today. I'll see you all next time. And remember, if I can do it, anyone can do it.